Good morning, guys, and welcome to Meal Prep.
On this journey we will find our souls begin to intertwine. Your heart of gold, so pure, divine, and I lost myself within the fire, breaking free from my desire.
So I've made my hard-boiled eggs. I do this every week or every 2 weeks if we kind of get a little tired of them. And I do them the same way most everybody does. I do them in the pressure cooker, and I do them for 5 minute, 5 minute, 5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes cook with a cup of water, 5 minute natural release, and then 5 minutes in a cool down ice bath. I don't put them in an ice bath. I just run cold water in them. And then a trick is when you peel your eggs, peel them into a plastic bag. That way you have all your shells in that one bag. Wrap it up, throw it away, done, easy cleanup. And then I just got them in my container and getting them ready for the fridge. Next, we're going to do the cheesy asparagus soup. Now, these are just pieces of asparagus that I had in my freezer. It's kind of the end pieces, the pieces that aren't very good for when you're grilling or frying. But they're going to be okay. They'll soften up really good. And plus, I'm going to blend this. I'm going to put them in the pressure cooker. I'm just cutting them up and adding them to it. There's a few pieces that don't want to cut. And when that happens, I just set those off to the side and throw them away. And then I have some chicken broth. I don't have any bone broth at the time, so I just had I just used what I had in my, and that was just plain old chicken stock. And I used the full box of chicken stock, so 32 ounces is what I poured in here. And I cooked it about 7 minutes, just adding in some onions. I added garlic also. Probably about 2 tablespoons or a tablespoon or so of garlic. And now I'm going to come in with my seasonings. That's the salt-free seasoning. I'm using a full capful. That was a little much. Next time I'll probably back off on that a little bit. And then 7 minutes in my pressure cooker, and I'm just going to let it go. I put it on the soup setting. Just going to let it preheat and cook. Alright, and here it is after it's cooked. Now this is where I'm going to start adding all of the good stuff to it. I'm going to add about 3 ounces of cream cheese. Then I'm going to come in with some Colby Jack blend, I believe, that I just put, not a whole lot, maybe, you know, half a cup. Not a whole lot of cheese in there. I do plan on garnishing it when I eat it with cheese, so I didn't add a whole bunch in here right now. And then I'm going to come in with the heavy cream and stir it up. Now if you want, you can leave it chunky like this. I decided I wanted mine more as a puree, so I'm going to get out my stick blender and zhoosh it up a little bit here and just break it down a little bit more. I wanted it more of a, just kind of a creamy texture. So I decided to add the rest of the cheese, and then I'm going to go in with some mushrooms. And these weren't cooked when I put them in there. I put them in there raw, and then I just kind of broke them up a little bit, and then I just let them sit for probably about another 10-15 minutes in there and just let it do its thing. Let me tell you, it tastes really, really, really good. I had bought 3 containers of mushrooms. They had them in the clearance section of my produce area. So they were 99 cents a container, and I bought 3 of them. I love to have just cooked mushrooms so that I can just grab some and add them to different things. So here I'm just seasoning them up. I always add a little bit of water so I have some broth in with it. That broth is great, guys. Salt for my no salt seasoning, and then just let it go. And here I'm frying the pork patties. I love my cast iron, guys. If you guys don't cook with cast iron, you really need to start. It really is some of the easiest cookware to use. Then I've just flipped them over and I got the other sides. Nothing puts a nice crisp on your food like cast iron does. And if it's taken care of, you guys, it's basically no stick. All right, and then this is the end results of the mushrooms. I'm gonna save some out to put into my scrambled eggs, and the rest of it I'm just gonna dish up here. Look at that shimmer, that glimmer. That's from the 2 tablespoons of butter that I put in there. Just adds a little bit of richness and helps keep the mushrooms from sticking. But let me tell you, that is the best. So now if I have steaks, I have that to add to it. I can add it to any of the meals that I want to. My husband is not a big mushroom fan. I just love them. So here you're just going to see me dish it up. Well, I guess not. So here I'm dishing it up even though you can't see it. Oh, wow. Can you tell how messy of a cook I am? I just left a few in the bottom of the pan because I'm going to make some Denver scrambled eggs. So it's basically like the Denver omelet, except I'm going to make it with, I'm just going to scramble the eggs versus the omelet. So I'm adding in some ham and a couple of tablespoons of butter. I had a big bone-in ham a while back that I broke down and diced up, and then this is just some of the diced ham off of that I had in the freezer. Just took it out, put it in the pan along with some peppers and onions. You'll notice that I use a lot of the same vegetables over and over. These pepper and onions, I just put probably like 1/4 cup of them in here. The rest of them are going to be going into my sausage dish a little later on. And then I'm just going to crack up the eggs. I put about, I think it was 8 eggs in here. Going to whisk them up, put a little bit of seasoning in them. I also add water to my eggs, not a lot, just probably a teaspoon or so. It just helps make your eggs fluffy. I know a lot of people like to use cream or milk in their eggs, and to me that makes them too rubbery. I really like the water in them. It kind of just helps to add moisture in. Then I'm just going to go in with some mozzarella cheese because you have to have cheese in your eggs, guys. If you're eating eggs without cheese, you're just not doing it right. Then we're just going to let it cook up here. Now I'm not going to cook the eggs dry. I am going to leave them just a little slightly underdone because these are all going to go into containers and be reheated. So I don't want super dry eggs when we reheat them. So I'm going to leave them still almost a little, I call them wet eggs. So I'm going to leave them wet and not get them super dry. You know, right here I'm done, and then I'm just going to dish them up. Then it was time for Mommy to take a break, and Miss Finley was missing Mom, so we went outside and played a little bit. She is a crazy dog, but I love her so much, guys.
The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand.
So now we're going to get started on the pressure cooker sausage and cabbage. Local sausage, I got a ring of their garlic sausage and a ring of their German sausage. And then I'm just dicing up the cabbage that I had taken the leaves off and washed up. So I put one type of sausage in the bottom, and it's got about a cup of water in there. And then this is the second sausage. I'm just going to dice it up here and then add it. This is a fast and simple meal. I just added in some peppers and onion mix, salt, pepper, a little bit of the seasoning. And then put it on, and I only had it in there for 15 minutes. Perfectly cooked. The sausages broke open. Look at that. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells amazing. And I'm just going to dish up a couple of containers up for me right now for lunches. I usually try to do that. That way I don't have to worry about trying to dish it out the next day or the day of my lunch. I just do it right now before I dish up everything. Then I'm just going to package a couple of them up for lunches. And then here's the end result, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.